Despite being one of the biggest clubs in Turkish football, Fenerbahçe have not enjoyed any success in nearly a decade. They haven't won any trophies since 2014 and are considered by many as a sleeping giant. With the superstar manager Jorge Jesus, Fenerbahçe aim to reach similar success as Flamengo and rise back to the top of Turkish football. With the intense attacking tactics, Jesus is delivering the excitement and success supporters have desired for a long time. Yes, people, we are back once again with one of your requests. Can we replicate Jorge Jesus' tactics in Football Manager? We shall see. And forget about the background, I literally just knocked over all my little footballers just now. But for now, let's get stuck in with the Jorge Jesus tactics. As far as formations go, he is not afraid to switch it around and experiment with different shapes. So far at his time at Fenerbahçe, which has been just little over 3 months by the way, Jorge Jesus has used up to 9 different formations according to WeScout. However, regardless of the formation, Jesus has a general structure he likes his teams to follow. In the attacking phase, he likes his teams to stay significantly narrow or at least compact. This structure complements the behaviour and strategy of his teams. He likes a very fluid and collective style of football. With the ball as a reference point, players are constantly floating near and between themselves in order to create passing lanes and combine. As a result, the general structure of the team is relatively narrow. He often adopts a build-up with a line of 4 or 3. The centre-backs split the area while the full-backs go high and wide. Another characteristic of his build-up is the use of a single pivot. Ahead of the centre-backs, a single pivot will drop to provide support and dictate the build-up. Further ahead, wingers and midfielders will float between themselves to provide support and create passing lanes. A pentagon shape of sorts is created with the ball carrier as the reference point. This creates numerous passing lanes and becomes very difficult to defend. If the ball is lost, they already have a significant number of players there to prevent immediate danger and recover it. In a general oversimplified statement, Jesus' teams are labelled as intensively attacking. This heavy metal style that fans have enjoyed so much is mostly due to the directness and verticality of his teams. Movement behind the lines is essential for this verticality to work. Players will rotate between themselves and check for the ball in different areas. Undoubtedly, breaking the lines with frequency and verticality is one of the main characteristics of the teams managed by Jorge Jesus. However, they still maintain a high level of control. They are constantly looking to break lines and be direct, but with a certain control rather than just launching it forward. There are other concepts which characterize Jorge Jesus' attacking system. For instance, the constant search for space and the consequent willingness to attack this space. Jesus prefers constant approximation around the ball. As a result, this overload naturally attracts a significant number of defenders near the ball and creates a lot of space elsewhere. For example, the centre-back finds a midfielder who instantly switches it to the opposite fullback with a lot of space to attack. As in the attacking phase, Jesus' defensive system is frequently labelled as very intense. This is due to the aggressiveness and intensity of their high press. Without the ball, the objective is not only to recover it as soon as possible, but possibly create goal-scoring opportunities from this press. The structure with which they press is fairly simple. While roughly maintaining a man-to-man organisation, they aim to compress and congest the opposition's playing area. After the opposition plays it to either side, the objective is to cut the other side off and pressure them using the touchline as an extra defender. Counter-pressing is another aspect of his teams. It prevents or at least delays the opposition from launching a dangerous attack. While it gives them a chance to immediately recover the ball, it also generates time for other players to get organised. In this example, after losing the ball, 4 players immediately rush the player that is now in possession. And that wraps up the analysis. My little footballers are still down, by the way, but we are now going to go into Football Manager to see if we have replicated this tactic, but also, did we achieve success? So after the first 3 games, we are sitting nicely on top of the table with a 100% record. We played 3, we won all 3, of course, with a goal difference of +9 and 9 points. But we are all here to see the tactic, and there are 2 tactics. This is a Jorge Jesus now. He's actually used up to, what did we say earlier, 9 formations or something crazy like that. We've only got 2 to be fair. So we do have a 3-4-3, which is something that everybody wanted, but we also have his 4-1-3-2 as well. The instructions are fairly the same. I believe the actually identical. Apart from the player roles, there actually might be 1 or 2 different instructions, but nonetheless we do have 2 formations and we are going to go through them right now. Yes, I know you're eager to learn more about the tactics, but you can support this channel right now simply by downloading this OneFootball app. OneFootball are kindly sponsoring this video, and all we've got to do is just download the app. It's a brilliant football app where we can check the latest football news, we can check the latest stats as well of games. For an example, England yesterday, they lost 1-0 to Italy. If we want to replicate Italy's tactics, all we've got to do is look at some of the stats provided by the OneFootball app. But not only that, if you want to follow your favourite footballers, all you've got to do is click on the little star button and boom, push notifications. When there's any news or anything about that player, you will get that notification. Whoa, I just got a message from OneFootball. Apparently, the good news doesn't end there. So, in addition to all the other great features, OneFootball is now offering everyone in the UK and Ireland free match highlights for the Italian Serie A every match week, and even a free selected Saturday match which is streamed live on the app. So next week, I believe it's AC Milan that is going to be live on the OneFootball app, so make sure you download it and don't miss out. But also, by downloading it, you are supporting this channel. The download link is in the description. So for the team instructions, we have gone for that attacking mentality. We aim to dominate, play in the opponent's half constantly throughout the 90 minutes. The attacking width is on fairly wide rather than fairly narrow. That instructs your players to funnel play through the middle, but we didn't want that. We wanted verticality, but we didn't want to funnel our play constantly through the middle, because we can still play out wide and we can still create those wide overloads. So in turn, I have focused play through the middle. Passing directness on shorter to gain some control over the games, but the tempo is on higher, and for the dribbling, we are running at the defense. In transition, possession has been lost. We're going to counter press. We're also going to make counter attacking movements once we have won the ball. When the goalkeeper has possession of the ball, nothing too special, just helping us keep control and possession when we are building out from the back. When defending, we've instructed a tactic to defend high with a high defensive line and a higher line of engagement. Defensive width is set to standard rather than narrow, but we are using opposition instructions. So rather us forcing play down in the wider areas, instead, when the wider players of the opposition team do have the ball, especially in those deeper areas, which is why we've got right midfielder, left midfielder, wing back and full back. When those wide players have the ball, that is when the trigger press is just always going to be on, but also we are going to be tackling hard, engaging, and that's kind of our way of defending out wide, but also using the touchline as an extra defender. The trigger press is set to more often. We are preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, but we're also getting stuck in. So that was the team instructions. Now for the player roles in goal, we do have a sweeper keeper at the back, taking fewer risk, but also tackling harder. At the back, we do have 2 ball playing defenders, one in the middle, one on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we do just have that plain central defender. And then at wing backs, we do have 2 wing backs on support, no added instructions. In midfield, we do have a deep line playmaker on support, coming deep to collect the ball. His midfield partner is a central midfielder on attack, roaming from his positions, moving into the channels. Out wide is where things get a little bit interesting, because I'm using roles that want to combine in central areas. I want to play in those middle areas as well. So using a winger on attack, for an example, it just wouldn't work for us, would it? So we do have an advanced playmaker on the left hand side, someone that's going to cut inside and likes to operate in those central attacking midfield areas, again helping us with the verticality. And then on the right hand side, we do have an inverted winger on attack, taking more risk and sitting more narrow. Lastly, up top, we do have a pressing forward on support. Now it's time for that second tactic, the 4-1-3-2. Now, because the team instructions are basically the exact same, we're not going to go through that, but in possession rather than shorter passing, I do find this works better just using the standard passing directness. Other than that, everything else is the same. It's the same. So in goal, we have the sweeper keeper again. I mean, that is supposed to be the same as before, so take fewer risk and tackle harder as well. At the back, we do have 2 wing backs on support on either side, dribbling more and shooting less often. And then in the middle, we do have 2 ball playing defenders. The DLP, well, the DLP is in DM. That is what we're going to be using. And then the 3 in midfield, again, we are using that advanced playmaker. He's going to be roaming from his positions, but I'm using roles that are going to help us with that verticality. One reason why we aren't using a Carrilero or a Mazzala in this system. In the middle, we do have a central midfielder on attack, again roaming from his position, trying to find those pockets to be effective. Then on the right hand side, we have a box-to-box midfielder, and he is moving into channels. Hard-coded, he's already roaming from his position. Lastly, up top, we do have a deep line forward coming deep and connecting play, again vertically. And then lastly, up front, we do have the advanced forward. Nicely up top, we are creating counter movements, again one player dropping deeper whilst the other makes the opposite movement and pins back the opposition defenses. And that there wraps up the tactics. But now it's time to look at the results. So start of the season started well. It didn't start too great because we got knocked out of the Champions League par third qualifying round. We lost the first leg 3-0 away from home. Actually, funny enough, Benfica, which is Jorge Jesus' former club. The home leg or the second leg, we did beat them 2-1 at home, but it just wasn't enough. We won our first game of the season 4-2 at home, and then we went away from home. We won 2-0, and then at home to Besiktas, we did beat them 2-0. Those were the first few games, but this is where I felt the tactics really started to kick in, and this is where we started to get some really good results. So the first goal in this game came from it didn't come directly from a corner. Hez Mert picks up the ball from, he's taking his time picking up this ball. Come on, Mert. He drives towards the byline. He's going to whip it in. João Pedro puts Fenerbahçe 1-0 ahead. Now for the second goal, it is from a corner again. Irfan Can whips it in. Gustavo Henrique, he hits the crossbar first time but puts in the rebound. And then for the last goal, has Valencia Mert. Now this is the verticality that we want to see playing football in the middle of the pitch, and what a goal. But if we rewind that a little bit, there we are. This is where we're going to win the ball here. It's a nice interception, but here it's all about verticality. So here is our deep lying forward, dropping deep to get the ball. He's going to link up play. He's going to play in a player. There's Mert. He plays in João Pedro, and this is where it's individual brilliance. Individual brilliance wraps up this game. We also smashed Kasim Pasha at home as well, 4-1. I believe that's how you pronounce that team's name. And as you can see down here as well, we are using that 4-1-3-2 tactic at home. So here's our first goal. They kick it long from a goal kick. We're just going to win that easily. Here's Irfan Can now on the ball, plays it to Mert. Mert back to Can, back to Butshai. He plays a lovely ball to Valencia, and what a goal. 1-0 to Fenerbahçe. But they equalised. They did score a penalty. It was a penalty. They buried it. Fair enough. But we came back in the lead with Osei Samuel here out on the right hand flank. He plays it back to Batshuayi. Here's Irfan Can to Lincoln. 2-1 to Fenerbahçe. Now it's time for the third goal. Here's Lincoln, plays it to Luan Perez. Here's Crespo on the ball now in the middle of the pitch. Irfan Can. There's Mert, and you can see the verticality, how important attacking through this middle channels are for this tactic. Here's Alioski as well now out on that left hand side. I do feel like the wing backs are kind of isolated. I say isolated, they're not really, because once they what a hit by Crespo. Let's forget about what I was going to say. Now we're back to the results, and the games against Galatasaray are always the big games, and as you can see here, we beat Galatasaray 1-0 at home. Miguel Crespo getting a 90th minute goal. The away fixture, we beat them again. Mauro Icardi did equalise for Galatasaray, but then Mert did score in the 79th minute to put Fenerbahçe ahead and win that all-important game. Now looking at the competitions, the Sport Toto Super League, Fenerbahçe won that. We won 32 out of our 38 games played. We didn't win the Friendly Cup. In the Champions League, we got knocked out in the Europa League. We also got knocked out in the quarter-final by Ajax of course, and in the Turkish Cup, we were the winners. We did beat Besiktas 4-2 in that final. Statistically, we dominated this league. We scored 101 goals. We had 778 shots at goal, whilst having a few shots against us with 275. For the most dribbles made, 541. We completed the most dribbles. We had the most clean sheets, but we also conceded the fewest. Player-wise, nobody really sticks out apart from Irfan Can. He was a very good player for us. So was Lincoln as well. Lincoln was very good, but Irfan Can, our main creator, with 14 assists, and as you can see here, the most key passes in the whole league, but so too Lincoln. So in the league, we did have players scoring a lot of goals. Joshua King, Batshuayi, Mert Yandash, Miguel Crespo, Gustavo Henrique, the centre-back, Enner Valencia, and João Pedro, all in double figures of goals. And looking at for the creative players, we just have two players in double figures, which is Irfan Can and Lincoln. But unfortunately, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. But I'll see you guys soon. Don't forget, you can also continue with your tactical request in the comment section. I will speak to you guys soon. Stay safe. Shout out to my Patreons. Good night. Stay safe.